there's probably no difference in the internal response to public speaking than there is to this coming into an exam, whether it's a recall exam or a performance exam. The consequences of what I'm doing going to provoke the same response inside me where cortisol is going to go through the roof because I'm stressed about what this means for my position in my social circle and my career prospects, et cetera, et cetera. So because there is a cost of failure involved, I'm going to have the same experience internally. So then it's a matter of what are the knock-on effects of that cortisol going through the roof, which is what causes us to have problems with public speaking, but also these sort of, can I recall things and can I perform and be in the moment and adjust to what's happening? And there's like the first domino to fall is that cortisol spike. But what that leads to, there's secondary research, or not secondary, associated research on the working memory capacity of our brains. So we've spoken about this before, where humans generally have between, depending on who you read, between 2 to 6 things on their mind, the capacity to have that many things on your mind at one time. So you're nodding because you're listening to my voice. Now you're watching me tap my fingers. You're smiling because you're remembering me doing this another time. Your attention is on what potentially your next question is. And maybe you're thinking about the fact that you're fasting right now and your tummy, you can hear my tummy rumbling, so you're getting jealous, right? But you're not thinking about how your left foot feels in your shoe. You are now thinking about your shoe and how much you paid for it, which means 2 of the other things have been bumped out of your mind, right? So all that is to say that generally that's our capacity. But when cortisol spikes, there is a significant reduction in that, like a clear limitation in how many things we can handle at one time. We can't be specifically sure as to whether that's because our attention is taken up by how we feel, or it's just literally a limitation of neural processing units effectively available to us. But either way, that is an immediate after effect of a cortisol spike, which means that for memory recall things, or for my ability to be in a moment and adjust on the fly to, that note was a little flat. I need to tighten my finger a little bit or purse my lips a little, whatever it is that flautists do in that moment, is I need to be able to process that information in real time, or I need to be able to recall what is the origin and insertion of flexor hallucis longus in my anatomy exam. Shout out to all the physical therapy students out there. I had a little flashback for a second. But these 2 events rely on our ability to recall things, and not only recall from long-term memory, but to bring 7 things into our working memory and go, oh, that's the one, and then eject them all and then bring up the next thing, right? And so if that's the case, then the effects on our performance is the same, right? Whether it's long-term recall or in the moment working with memory, the impact in terms of a reduction of our capacity is the same. The question is, what do we do about that, right? And effectively, it becomes the same sort of answer as the public speaking thing, but these are, I suspect, a lot more specific to their domain, right? So, anyone who's studied medicine or anything in the medical field, anything where there is a huge body of knowledge that you have to be able to draw on at a split second, mnemonics are often helpful, like shortcuts, mental shortcuts that allow us to quickly access something that is relevant to this. I'm looking at a thumb that's been dislocated. I need to be able to immediately be able to picture what that joint is shaped like, what muscles go over it, where the ligaments are, etc. And sometimes having shortcuts in our mental frameworks helps us with that. If it's an in-the-moment performance thing, then I'd say the number one thing would be to have similar shortcuts, but in terms of if this, then that plans. If I'm a little flat, I normally adjust it by doing this. If my sound is too loud, or my sound is too quiet, I need to breathe deeper. If this, then that, right? And these shortcuts are not necessarily always correct, but they're your best bets in that moment. And they allow you to move to the next moment without having to be like, oh God, what's the problem here? And you're filling up your memory, which causes you to run into the next problem, which is, oh my God, I don't even know where to go from here, right? So they're probably the 2, they're similar problems, a little bit different based on the context.